Larry, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kathy.
So Chief Searles is listed as an attendee, but he does not have audio or video. So there's no ability to change him. I just sent him a text, but we just may have to speak on his behalf unless Andy from CT jumps on. I haven't seen his name.
Yeah, I haven't seen his name. I thought I saw, Abdullah might be able to fix that because he has the host duties right now.
He says he can't.
Oh, okay. Figured I'd toss that one out there.
I just told Chief, and he said okay. So it might be fine. I think he just wants to tune in.
Okay.
Oh, Robert Jeffries is still listed as an attendee, but he's a board member. We need to change.
He's listed also. I thought I saw him under the panelist, but no, I do not. Okay, yeah, we need to get him over. And John Crocker needs to come over as a participant too.
Is he there?
Yeah, John's on.
Yeah, do you see him? Okay.
Oh, he's up on the top of the screen now.
Okay, we got him.
And so is Bo. Lisa, can you hear us?
He looks to be muted. Can you change that? Oh, there she is.
Sorry, I'm unmuted.
How about now?
Perfect. John, can you hear us?
Okay.
I can hear everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right.
Larry, it looks like Chief changed and he's going to be added as a panelist.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. It's Bo. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Great.
We got you, Bo.
Appreciate it.
Never mind.
I think everyone's accounted for. Yes, all the board members. Or 1 minute to 7.
Right on time.
Okay. Did you hear that, Larry?
Yes.
Okay. Are we standing for the pledge? We guess we are. Larry is typing.
Seriously.
I'm a slow typer.
You're a heavy typer.
Real loud.
It's an old keyboard.
He's going to be bringing out the old typewriter next.
Okay. Yeah. I believe it's time to go. I got 7 o'clock on my end.
All right. Guess we'll begin. A little housekeeping. While attending the meeting using WebEx, you will see a window open on the bottom right side of the screen entitled Q&A. This window will be open 5 minutes prior to the start of the meeting and will remain open for 10 minutes after the meeting begins for a total of 15 minutes. During that time, please type your name, address, and the reason you wish to address the body. You will also utilize this window to indicate your wish to comment during a scheduled public hearing that appears on the agenda. At the appropriate time during the meeting, you will be recognized by the moderator and you will be unmuted and allowed to make your comments. If you are asking to comment on a public hearing, you will be recognized during the hearing. If you wish to comment on an item on the legislative agenda, you will be recognized when the item appears on the agenda. All other comments unrelated to the agenda will be heard near the end of the meeting. All right. That being said, I'd like to call the order, the meeting of Matter Board of Building Zoning Appeals, regular meeting agenda for April 14th, 2020. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance.
United States of America.
To the republic
Republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and
liberty and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Would you please call the roll?
Robert Jeffries, please.
Robert?
Sorry about that. Yes, here.
Michael Mandato.
Michael Mandato is here.
Lisa Marinelli.
Lisa Marinelli is here.
Richard Zaleski.
Here.
John Crocker.
Here.
James Gwynn.
Here.
Joseph Eiffelise.
Joe?
He might have lost his audio. Nope.
Joseph Eiffelise.
He doesn't have it.
Oh, hi, Felice, are you here?
He can see us, but he can't hear us. He's pointing to his ears. I think he logged off and is trying again.
Is he trying again?
We lose him altogether?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
there he is. Oh, can you hear us?
We don't have a connection.
Oh? Bo Jeffries.
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you were calling Joe still.
Okay. Okay, so
Joseph Eiffelise.
oh, hi, Felice, are you here? Before. Well, you had him in as an attendee, but we got Bo, and I think we've got all attendees. We want to move forward?
Okay. First off, we will need approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 10th of 2020. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
move to approve.
Second.
Please call.
Mr. Jeffries.
Yes.
Mr. Mandato.
Yes.
Ms. Marinelli.
Lisa Mar.
Mr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn.
Yes.
And is Mr. Eiffelise there yet?
Lost him for some reason.
We've also lost video of the council chambers.
All right.
You can
I
hear
can
us?
still see. I can still see council chambers, so I don't know.
So can I. I still have council chambers up.
I can as well.
I can as well, for what it's worth.
Okay, Rick, you want to move forward?
Yeah. All right. We have no old business. We will go to right to new business. Agenda item number 1 is for 7843 Mentor Avenue. Do we have a motion to assume jurisdiction?
Mike Mandato, so moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries.
Yes.
Mr. Mandato.
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli.
Like she's just dialing back in. For a moment.
Here she is.
Mrs. Marinelli.
That's a yes.
Mr. Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn,
Yes.
Mr. Ifelis, are you there yet?
Can't count him for now. We'll just.
No, Joe. All right. All right. And before we go, I'll just so we keep the form here. This is to let everyone, this is a public meeting, and both the applicant and the city shall have the right and the power to present his position, arguments, and contempt, to affirm, examine witnesses, and present evidence in support thereof, to cross-examine witnesses, and to offer evidence offer evidence and to prefer any such evidence. With each request this evening, we'll hear from the administration first, then a public hearing portion in which the applicant will rest and give a brief description. All comments shall be directed to the presiding officer. And then we will open up for questions from the board. So we did assume jurisdiction, and at this point, comments from the administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is proposing to install a 121.92 square foot wall signage for the Dollar Tree located at 7843 Mentor Avenue. Section 1171.18 E6 states that the permitted area for wall signs is 1.5 square feet per 1 linear foot of building frontage, not to exceed 150 square feet. However, an additional 25% of signage is permitted for buildings set back over 300 feet from the right-of-way line, not to exceed 187.5 feet. The building is set back 585 feet from Mentor Avenue. Per the code, the maximum allowable signage for this particular business tenant is 95.63 square feet. The proposed wall signage is consistent with other recent sign requests received from area businesses and is in proportion to the size of the wall. The administration does not believe the proposed signage will have an adverse impact on adjoining properties, therefore has no objections to this request.
Thank you very much. We will now need to hear from the applicant. I believe that is in Jackson.
I do not have someone asking to speak on the Q&As for the first one. If you're out there and you want to speak on the first one, please let us know through the Q&A.
Law Director, can we vote if they're not?
How long should we give them?
If anything jumps up on the Q&A, give them a couple minutes.
Okay, we have one now. I am going to make her a panelist. Okay.
Okay.
Michelle. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. If you want to give a brief description about the proposal, please.
So my name is Michelle Fair. I'm with the Glimpser Group, and I represent the owners of Mentor Space Shopping Center. We have reviewed this. We are in agreement that it does need the larger size. And we're hoping that similar to the other signs that you approved, that you'll approve this for Dollar Tree.
All right, thank you very much. Now we will open the public hearing portion. Do we have anyone out there signing in that's for this variance? Anyone against? Larry, do we have anyone or no? Nobody?
No one has indicated that they're for or against it.
Okay. We will close the public hearing portion. Board members out there, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns you'd like to ask the administration or the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, it's Lisa Marinelli. I have a question
Yes.
for the applicant.
Go ahead.
Michelle, How consistent is this with the existing sign that's there today?
There is no sign there currently. And this is larger than the original sign, due to the size of the new facade.
Ms. Marinelli,
Okay, thank you.
we did try and look for the original permit. We couldn't find it, but as you can see from the photo that Larry just put up, the facade changes are what's the reason for the additional sign area.
Thank you.
Anyone else with any questions, comments, or concerns from the board? If not, we will need a motion.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mr. Mandato,
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli,
Yes,
Mr. Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn,
Yes.
and is Mr. Eiffelise in?
Yes, he is. He's
Okay.
there.
He is. Oh, you can hear him. Okay.
Unmute, Mr. Eiffelise.
Joe, Mr. Eiffelise, can you hear us?
I don't know if he can still hear us.
He's there, he's just muted.
He's muted. He actually texted me that he's a yes on this. I don't know if he can formally do that, but he's texting back and forth with me.
Have to hear from him on in his voice.
Gotcha. Okay.
John, can you ask him to unmute? Oh, there he goes.
There you go. I don't know if it's any better.
Mr. Eiffelise,
Joe, can you hear us? We got nothing.
All right, well,
I don't think he can.
All right. So it passes. Congratulations on your variance.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.
You're welcome. Next, for agenda item number 2 is 7985 King Memorial. Do we have a motion to assume jurisdiction?
this is Lisa Marinelli. I motion to assume jurisdiction.
Do we have a second?
Mike
Second.
Mandato, second.
Who seconded that?
Mike Mandato.
Oh, thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mr. Mandato,
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli,
Yes,
Mr. Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn,
Yes.
and is Mr. Eiffelise there?
I don't think we have them. Okay.
It's still muted, isn't it?
No, I have him unmuted on the panel, so.
I think he has his headphones on. He needs to change to his speaker and his computer. So I'll try to text him there.
All right. If the administration wants to continue and hear comments from them.
For the purposes of our moderator here, it looks like James Davis is listed as a panelist, and he'll be speaking on this particular variance request. But as far as the administration is concerned, a summary: the applicant is proposing to construct a 1,296 square foot detached 3-car garage at a height of approximately 20 feet 6 inches to store vintage vehicles. The applicant was granted an area variance at the March 10th meeting, but was denied a height variance. The previous request was for a garage with a height of approximately 27 feet. The applicant has revised the plans and is requesting a garage with a height of 20 feet 6 inches. The applicant currently has a shed on the property that will be removed. This lot is located on a private drive and is nearly 3/4 of an acre. The lot located to the south of the property and closest to the proposed garage is 1.5 acres in size, and the nearest structures are between 135 and 145 feet from the proposed garage.
Thank you very much. We able to get the applicant online here? Mr. Davis, can you hear us?
We can hear you.
All right, thank you. You want to give a brief description and your hardship, please?
As I said previously, we wanted to match the elevations on our house as close as we could. And that didn't pass the first time around. So we lowered it to a 612 pitch, I believe, and lowered it almost 7 feet. Hopefully that will work.
All right, thank you very much. We will open the public hearing portion. Is there anyone for this variance or against online that wants to speak? Do we have anyone out there?
I do not have anyone in the queue that is indicating they want to speak.
All right, thank you very much. We will close the public hearing portion. Board members, questions, comments, concerns?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for the applicant.
Yes, Mrs. Marinelli.
With the reduction in the height, are you satisfied with these new renderings?
I think we are. I think that's, I don't want to go any lower. I like the first one, but that didn't get approved. So we tried to accommodate, you know, what you guys would like to see.
Okay, I do appreciate you bringing it down the 7 feet.
Anyone else from the board? Questions, comments, concerns?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
This is Gwen. I have a question for the applicant. What is the hardship that enables you not to meet the 15-foot peak height? I don't think it would drain proper. You know, the roof would be such a shallow pitch. I don't think it would work, and I think it would look awful in where we're proposing for that garage. I just think it would look awful myself. They just showed some pictures of our home, and our home has quite steep pitches on it, and that's what we were trying to match, so it didn't look out of place.
So, okay, this is a 612 pitch, is that right?
That's the new proposal number, yes.
Okay, not too steep. Is it because you want a second floor in the garage?
No, there was, in the original proposal, there was going to be a loft up there, which I thought was going to be nice for storage, but you know, we can't do that now, so it is what it is. But if you look at the elevations on our house, the roof pitch is quite steep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. Is anyone else, any questions, comments, or concerns out there?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Jeffries.
real quick question for the administration. As I recall, at the prior application, there were no objections lodged by any neighbors. And just confirming, notices were all mailed out in accord with the requirements, and we still have no negative correspondence, correct?
I have not gotten any correspondence for this agenda item.
We did not hear anything in opposition.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? If not, we will need a motion.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Crocker. Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mandato,
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli,
Yes.
Mr. Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn,
Yes.
and it's Mr. Eiffelise there.
Still can't hear him.
Well, he's trying. He's there.
All right, well, it approved. Congratulations, your variance did get approved.
Thank you.
Welcome. Have a good day.
Too.
Agenda item number 3 is for 8180 and 8190 Menor Hills Drive. Do we have a motion to assume jurisdiction?
So moved. Mike Mandato.
We have a second.
Second, Lisa Marinelli.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Mandato?
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli?
Yes.
Mr. Zaleski?
Yes.
Mr. Crocker?
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn?
Yes.
And Mr. Ifois? Guess we'll keep trying. All right. All right. Comments from the administration, please.
Okay. The applicant is proposing to construct a parking lot with a 4-foot setback from Interstate 90 right-of-way. In lieu of the code requirement that parking lots in commercial districts shall be set back a minimum of 10 feet from the public right-of-way. While the proposed variance is substantial, the fact that the travel lanes of I-90 are approximately 85 feet from the proposed parking lot, there will be no adverse impacts. The proposed parking lot will also be approximately 16 feet higher than I-90 due to topography. The reduction in the parking lot setback was the result of the buildings being redesigned to better accommodate additional visitors to the property. This proposal has been reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission, subject to the approval of this variance request. The administration does not have any further objections.
Thank you very much. Do we have the applicant available to speak?
Yes, this is Gary Bialis with Omni Senior Living.
Hello, Mr. Bialis. If you want to give a brief description of what you want to propose.
Yeah, what happened is this project is really, what you're seeing a plan up here is for our senior living community. But in the south of this property, we also have villas. And what happened was, as we were going through process for the Planning Commission, they requested that I add more parking to the front of my project, because some of the villa people, individual, will be coming to the community to either dine or use some of the theater. We have a lot of amenities. By doing that, I went to a 3-story building, but it also forced my building further north towards 90. So what happens is and there's also utilities running in certain areas that exist, so I have to stay away from them for my building. So what happens is, as it forces my building forward, the parking gets into the 10-foot setback. And it actually varies. In some places, it's 3 feet. It's a worse condition. It's 5 feet. I need a 5-foot variance. But some places, and it's listed in yellow, if you can read that, the different locations where the parking is.
All right. Thank you very much. We will open the public hearing portion. Do we have anyone out there that wants to speak for or against this variance in the queue?
I don't see anyone in the queue wanting to speak against it.
Okay. Thank you very much. We will close the public hearing portion. Board members, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns out there?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mike Mandato,
Yes.
I have a question for Mr. Ifois. If there is any concern in the parking lot for runoff, the added square footage, I guess from the highway, is that what you're saying, Joe?
Oh, I think he's asking Mr. Bialis to answer that question.
I'm sorry. Well, first of all, our site is curbed, so no water will run from our site, over to the freeway or the I-90. So we'll gather it in our parking lot in the catch basins. And it actually goes in, and you look at the drawing that was up before, there's various detention basins the water will go to and then flow back out at a slow rate. So no water will flow over the edge of our parking lot because there's curbs there. It'll all flow back into catch basins. If that answers your question or not.
Mr. Mandato, did you get all that?
I did. Give me just a second.
Okay.
See if Joe heard that.
Let me know.
Yeah, I'll be right with you. Just
Take
give
your-
me a second. There he is.
Take your time.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for the administration.
Yes, Mrs. Marinelli.
With the development that's taking place around the 615-90 interchange between the Cleveland Clinic, this facility, and potentially down the road, the Bolton property, are there any plans from a state perspective or a federal perspective to expand the lanes on 90 that could potentially impact this in the future?
Certainly that is going to be looked at. That's something that's on the, we've already had some initial traffic studies that have begun, but you are exactly right. This is a multi-project impact along State Route 615. So we will be evaluating that as the projects come through. We've had preliminary conversations with the clinic, as well as some of the other office developments that are being proposed in Norton Parkway. And if the Bolton project were to move forward, they have already done some preliminary traffic studies as well.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if 90 would eventually be widened from the 3 lanes in each direction to 4 lanes that may have an impact with moving it out. I realize that the travel lanes are 85 feet from this parking structure, but if more lanes are added, I don't know what that would look like and how that might impact.
We have no way of knowing that at this time. I mean, I think if, again, due to the 85 feet width, I think it's pretty safe. But no, it's too preliminary to even know if that's a possibility.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Marinelli. Anyone else out there with questions for the applicant or administration? If not, we will need a motion.
Move to
Move for
approve as
passage.
submitted.
Let's have Lisa Marinelli with the first initial motion. Who seconded?
Second, John Crocker.
All right. Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mr. Mandato,
Yes.
Marinelli,
Yes.
Mr. Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn,
Yes.
and is Mr. Eiffelise in?
No, Mr. Eiffelise. All right. Looks like your variance has been approved. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. All right. Our next thing
Welcome to
is,
WebEx. Enter your access code or meeting number followed by pound.
okay. Next, our agenda item is agenda item number 4 for 6904 Reynolds Road. Do we have a motion to assume jurisdiction?
Your entry 717 is not valid or the meeting is not started yet.
Okay. All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to assume jurisdiction?
So moved.
Second,
was-
Lisa Marley.
All right, so first was Bo Jeffrey, second Lisa Marinelli.
Yes.
Will you please call the roll?
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mr. Mandato,
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli,
Yes.
Mr. Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn,
Yes.
and is Mr. Eiffelise there?
No. All right. So I believe agenda item number 4 is from the city itself. So comments from the administration.
Thank you. The applicant is proposing to construct a new building which will be set back 11 feet 6 inches from the north property line and 10 feet 8 inches from the south property line in lieu of the code required 20-foot side setback. The proposed building will also be set back 24 feet 9 inches from the west property line in lieu of the code required 50-foot rear setback. The property abuts the Port Authority's property, which is to the west and south for the Lost Nation Airport, and abuts Farmington Meadows residential development to the north. There is an 8-foot board-on-board fence proposed along the northern property line, which will serve as a screening between the residential development and this new building. The proposed regional response facility received site plan approval by the Planning Commission on March 5th, subject to review and approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals.
All right. Thank you very much. And I do believe, did you say the fire chief wanted to speak on this?
The fire chief here to speak.
Okay. Gentlemen, if you can hear me, and feel free to say what you need to say for this agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Yes.
It's Fire Chief Searles on behalf of the city of Mentor, and I want to thank you for allowing me to attend in this format. This building is vital to public safety services. It's been in planning for a number of years. The challenge has been to find the right property. The property that we selected is right because it's near the airport. It's centrally located. It will not only serve the city of Mentor, but the entire Lake County with the rails and our 2 major highways. After some surveys were done, it was chosen to be ideally located where proposed. We were able to secure 1.69 acres from the airport. The hardship and the restrictions are the result of FAA reviews, the lot limitations, the runways, and some wetlands on the property. Property is the ideal spot for the location. It'll be aesthetically pleasing. It'll sit approximately in the same location that the old barn sat, which has now been demoed to make room for the new facility. And I ask for your consideration, and I thank you again for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you, Chief. We have another presenter, I was told.
Yeah, this is Andy Tarowski with CT Consultants. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good. Wasn't sure. The chief summarized that very well. Again, the hardships, as he stated, were the airport to the west and to the south. As far as the north lot line, we kept it in line with the existing context, which would have been the existing fire station to the east. So that sort of drove the edge of the building on the north side of the property line. And again, as the chief mentioned, we had the wetland delineation issues, and again, the airport property. So we're already running into a few issues with FAA wanting us to adjust the building a little bit, which doesn't affect the variances at this point. So we're just hoping that we can get these variances approved so we can continue the project.
All right, thank you very much. We will open up the public hearing portion. Do we have anyone out there that wants to speak for or against this variance in the queue?
No one said anything in the question and answer area, but I do know there are a couple people that are on the attendee list. I just don't know if they're here to listen or if they wanted to speak on an item. If they want to speak on this item, they should. The Q&A is still open. They should let us know through the Q&A.
Okay, Mr. Law Director, should we give them a couple minutes if they hear this?
Take a couple minutes. If anybody's in the queue, anybody on the attendee list that wishes to speak, please make sure that you indicate so in the Q&A section at the lower right portion of the screen.
Okay, one person just said they're just here to listen.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if there's no one else, We will close the public hearing portion. Board members out there, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
it's Bo Jeffries. Chief Searles, a quick question for you here. Back to the hardship that Lake County, City of Mentor, all the public safety forces would be facing here. Could you just explain a little bit about what services and what kind of trainings are going to be offered through this facility, and what kind of cuts would have to be made if you were not approved for, this looks like several hundred square feet in cuts would have to be made in order to be staying within code. Can you talk a little bit about what's going to be offered at this facility and what sacrifices would be made if it had to be trimmed back the several hundred feet?
Yes, sir. The services that are going to be offered are essential services. They're mainly public safety services in the special teams format. That would be bomb squat, dive rescue, hazardous material tech rescue, some of our elite services. The other thing that is important about this building is it's located by the airport, so that if we had to bring supplies in, they can be offloaded and stored in the facility. I think that's vital, but its location is also paramount in that, as I mentioned, it's centrally located. If it doesn't go here, then all those specialty services would suffer in one way or another. So,
great, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the board have any questions or concerns? If not, we will need a motion.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries.
Yes.
Mandato.
Yes.
Marinelli.
Yes.
Mr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn.
Yes.
Mr. Eifelis.
Mr. Eifelis. All right, congratulations, gentlemen. The variance has been approved. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, our last agenda item number is agenda item number 5 for 9171 Sugar Bush Drive. Do we have a motion to assume jurisdiction?
So moved, Mike Mandato.
Do we have a second?
Second, Lisa Marinelli.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries.
Yes.
Mr. Mandato.
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli.
Yes.
Mr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn.
Yes.
Mr. Eifelis.
No, Mr. Eifelis. All right.
Yeah, he did yes. He's listening on the phone now. Got him dialed in on the phone.
All right. Comments from the administration, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is requesting to construct a cabana with a height of 15 feet 8 inches in lieu of the code requirement that the maximum height of an accessory building in a residential district be 15 feet. The proposed cabana is 512 square feet in area, and the existing shed on the property is 120 square feet in area for a total of 632 square feet. The total square footage exceeds the code maximum of 15% of the total floor area of the house, plus 50% of the permitted floor area for a detached garage allocated towards the proposed storage building, which is 316.89 square feet. The total maximum area permitted for an accessory building for this property is 550.89 square feet. They exceed the maximum area permitted by 81 square feet and the maximum height by 8 inches. The rear yard is completely enclosed by a fence, and abutting property owners have expressed support for the project. The variance is not substantial and will not have any adverse impacts. Therefore, the administration does not find the variance request objectionable.
All right, thank you very much. Well, is the applicant out there available to speak about the hardship and proposal?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, when during the structure, I mean, when we were building our pool, we wanted to bring the pool down a little bit lower, but we ran into all kinds of concrete and asphalt. So the excavator kind of said that was probably as low as we should go. We basically took a dump truck full of concrete out. And also the structure itself is only 12'8". But due to the grade of the yard, which is drops about 3 feet, that kind of led to the 15'8" of the structure. We did get letters from the neighbors and everything, and we wanted to make sure that you had all the information.
All right, thank you very much. We will open the public hearing portion. Is there anyone out in the queue that is for this variance or against the variance?
No one has said anything about wanting to speak for or against it. Like I said before, we do have a few people out there that I believe are just listening in, but if they want to speak, they should let us know now.
Okay, well, we have a couple correspondence. I will just summarize those and then we'll see if anyone chimes in. We did get an additional letter from the applicant. He talked about the 12'8". That they didn't, apologizing for, and they're believing they're making, within the city regulations, kind of what the applicant just talked about. We did get something from 9170 Sugar Bush Drive. They are in support of this. And we also have from 9175 Sugar Bush Drive. They are also in support of this. Do we have anyone chime in at all, whether they want to speak or not?
No one has chimed in at this time.
Okay. With that being said, I will close the public hearing portion. Board members, questions, comments, concerns?
I have one.
Mrs. Marinelli, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. Question for the applicant. With these 6x6 treated posts that will be put into the ground to handle the grade variances that are also supporting this, what has your contractor told you regarding the frost line, and are they deep enough for the frost line?
Yeah, they need to be 48 inches.
So how far? You're only going to 42 below grade, if I'm reading that correctly?
No, 48 inches from grade.
Okay. Because on the drawing, it says that they're going to be minimum of 42 inches below grade.
Yeah, minimum, but we're going to try to get them to 48.
Okay.
Anyone else out there have a question or concern from the board? If not, we will need a motion.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Who seconded?
John Crocker.
John Crocker. Okay, John Crocker seconded. All right, please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries.
Yes.
Mr. Jeffries.
Yes.
Mr. Mandato.
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli.
No.
Mr. Zaleski.
Yes.
Mr. Crocker.
Yes.
Mr. Gwynn.
No.
And it's Mr. Ifelis.
No.
Oh, we got him.
3. All right, it passed 4-3. The variance was approved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Board members, before you go here, and I want to thank you for, I know this is strange and different how we're doing this, but I want to thank you, all of you, for just hanging in there. We do have one more thing that was asked of me. For the June, July, and August meetings, we've been asked if we could please move it to 6 p.m. Hopefully we will have our concert series, and, you know, in the past we have done that before to 6 p.m. So we are looking for a motion at this point to move it to 6 p.m. Do we have a motion?
This is Lisa. I move to approve for the 6 p.m. start time.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Jeffries,
Yes.
Mr. Mandato,
Yes.
Marinelli,
Yes.
Zaleski,
Yes.
Mr. Crocker,
Yes.
Mr. Gwen,
Yes.
and Mr. Ifelis.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much again for this, and hopefully we can see each other soon. Take care, be healthy, be safe, and we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Thank you much. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.